Hello everyone, this is Taylor Edrington with Royal Gorge Anglers in Canyon City, Colorado, the only Orvis endorsed outfitter on the Arkansas River Basin and oldest fly shop and fly fishing guide service on the Arkansas. Thanks so much for viewing today. We're in April, and man, this is one of the best months of the year on the Arkansas, so we are really excited about the coming weeks of fishing on the Arkansas and other surrounding drainages in south central Colorado. Obviously the April and early May time period is known as the caddis time period on the Arkansas, and the Arkansas River has one of the largest caddis populations of any river in North America, and sometimes the largest caddis hatch of any drainage in North America. It just depends on the year. But we are looking at not only great caddis activity in mid-April, late April and May, but an excellent continuation of blue-winged olive life cycle activity and just overall great fishing as the trout population looks to really stock up on calories coming out of that early spring season and into our true spring season. Feeding is super heavy on the Arkansas, and like I said, if this isn't the best month of the year on the Arkansas, it truly is one of them. Just excellent wadeability on the river. You're never going to see it as low as it is. Easy to wade, still floating a little bit as well. But definitely from the wading aspect, the river at Wellsville is 330 CFS. So you can wade where you want, when you want, on this river, right now. Like I said, that's obviously, key as far as getting where you need to get. And, obviously the bug activity is very strong right now, focusing on our blue-winged olive stuff currently, but now moving into caddis activity as well. So we're going to talk about not only what's to come, what obviously our conditions are on the river, and what we expect with conditions through the month of May, and also looking at some patterns and rigging recommendations for your trip down here. So basically, just taking a step back and looking at where the river is today, flow rate wise, like I said, 330 CFS ballpark at Wellsville today, 260 CFS in Salida, 150 CFS at Granite, right at 400 CFS, give or take, in Canyon City. The river is gin clear. You're not going to ever see it this clear for a big freestone. I mean, beautiful conditions right now. Like I said, you're never going to see easier wading except for perhaps in the fall, late fall, when we bump down to this level as well. So these are the very best conditions for wading the river. We should maintain these flow rates until runoff occurs, which typically is at least that May 15th to 20th time frame. And so we should have great conditions for another month and a half, at least 6 weeks, if not 7 or 8 weeks, just depending on what kind of air temperatures we see in late May. Do remember that runoff just does not occur early on this river because our snowfields are so high in elevation. Many of our snowfields are 12,000 feet plus, and where we get our major runoff, those snowfields are very high, so we're just, we do not see runoff like the typical Colorado or Rocky Mountain rivers. In April and early May, we see our runoff start in, mid to late May. Now, obviously, we can have influx of low-level snow contribution, but it never really affects the river. Remember, this is a big river, moves a lot of water, so it has to really be a major runoff event to really change conditions drastically on this river. So do expect excellent conditions excellent wading conditions, and flow rate in Bighorn Sheep Canyon around 350 CFS. Upstream of Salida, anywhere from 250 to 200 CFS ballpark, until we see runoff in late May. Our snowpack currently, just a little insight to that, currently we're right at, hovering at 100% of average. We had February and March, which were two of the driest months we've ever seen in this area, that really burned off that heavy accumulated snowpack from early winter. We're right at around, with a little of the precipitation we had this last week, we're right at about 100%, slightly over, but I think we're really going to end up at about 100% of average here this year. Moving on to what's to come. Obviously, we've got the big caddis hatch coming. That's the Brachycentrus occidentalis, the Mother's Day caddis. And remember, it's not the Mother's Day hatch. This caddis was named on the East Coast in hatches on the East Coast near Mother's Day in that May time frame, but has nothing to do with our hatch here on the Arkansas River. Here on the Arkansas, we start to see heavy caddis activity around April 15th. So we term it the tax day hatch here. That's when it starts, and it starts in Canyon City, and it moves upstream as water temp gradually catches up. Obviously cooler overnight lows and daytime highs upstream, so it starts down low where water temp is warmer and gradually moves up the river. So while we have seen some free swimming caddis hatching and obviously have heavy blue-winged olive activity, starting about April 10th, we begin to see some heavy caddis activity in Canyon City, and sometimes up to about April 15th is when that really starts to build, and then it just moves upstream based on what happens with the weather in late April in early May. So expect, if you're really looking for heavy caddis activity, anywhere from April 10th through the end of April and into May. But like I said, if you wait till mid-May, till that Mother's Day time period, we could potentially be near runoff, and you may have hit the very end of the hatch, or not, the heavy part of the hatch. So if you're looking for that, do keep that in mind if you're really planning a trip to look for caddis. So, the number one thing I'll tell you though is, caddis are great. We have a lot of fun with the caddis activity, but the key for April, the key aspect that makes April probably the best fishing month of the year on the river is just a heavy upturn in activity within the trout population and a ton of different bugs being active. So not only do we have the caddis coming, but we have currently just huge populations of blue-winged olives and the entire life cycle active within the blue-winged olives. Stoneflies are very active crawlers right now. They're still finishing up their stonefly molt. We've got other free-swimming caddis in the water column. We've got cranefly larvae, and numerous other bugs that fish are feeding heavily on. And the key is that water temperature is coming up, and it's, ranging from 38 to, 45 degrees right now. In some places on warm days, we're getting up near 50 degrees. So those big temperature swings really, when we get to 45 to 50 degrees, fish are just super active. And that's the key that makes April such a good fishing month. It's just that fish are hungry, they're feeding heavily, and springtime is just a fantastic time to get out there. Let's take a look at some patterns, and like I said, we're really focusing on blue-winged olive activity currently, and we'll be moving into caddis activity, so I am going to forecast some of those patterns for you, but right now our guides are being extremely productive, nymphing through the morning, really looking for that blue-winged olive activity to come around, at about 44, 45 degrees. That's when we see our peak blue winged olive emergence, and those hatches occur at that point in time. So that's kind of what we're looking for, water temp, and it takes a little bit for that to happen. Obviously, as the weather stays warmer here in spring and overnight lows are slightly warmer, then we'll see that activity happen faster throughout the day. But right now, we're really looking at, nymphing until, 11 or noon and seeing heavy blue-winged olive emergence, maybe a few caddis popping, fish looking at BWO emergers, caddis, pupa, stuff like that around midday, and heavier hatches happening in the early afternoon for the blue-winged olives. Also, when the caddis happen, look for that time period to be very, very productive. And then, we'll see spinner falls in the evenings from the blue wings. And, obviously when the caddis are really building, caddis egg layer activity in the evenings as well. So let's look at some nymph rigs. We're still focusing on stoneflies. I mean, you always have to have a good selection of stoneflies on this river. So, from the nymphing aspect, this is a key fly. We're still fishing lighter colored stoneflies in the morning, darker in the afternoon. That's how the stonefly molt works. So stuff like a biot stone, light gold body, tungstone's one of my favorite in the kind of opaque gold color. Okay, we're fishing a lot of larger Guide's Choice hare's ears and poxyback hare's ears as well. There's your Guide's Choice hare's ear, size 12, 14 on those bad boys. And we tie those custom here with a nice big soft tackle on them. Poxyback hare's ear, fantastic kind of golden stone representation. When we get into the afternoon, if we're nymphing a little bit, we like the darker stoneflies. So tongue teaser, fantastic, John Barr's pattern. And then the dark-bodied brown biot stone. Rubber leg stones fish really well when fish move into heavier water, into riffle water, heavier pocket water, so do keep a few rubber legs on you. This is Larry Kingery's dark rubber leg cone head. And then just your standard Jimmy legs with kind of that brown to orange mottled body, weighted body. Like I said, caddis larvae will be prevalent in the water column through the month of April. You've got your free-swimming caddis, and then you've got your cased caddis with the Brachycentrus occidentalis. Just a general great pattern for your caddis larva is the rubber leg chartreuse copperjohn. Okay, we've also got the Shagunkle's roller caddis, which is a favorite here. Okay, and we fish all of these in various sizes depending on what's going on. We like the free swimming caddis right now. We'll go a little bit smaller later on in the month. This is Barr's uncased caddis. Then we've got our blue-winged olive nymphs, which of course are key in the morning and throughout the day. And if you're not having a heavy hatch or heavy emergence, then we're fishing these blue wings throughout the day. Shagunkle's shot glass with the red trigger bead, that's your brown body. Okay. 2-bit hooker black, 2-bit hooker olive. This is your 2-bit hooker black. That's Charlie Craven's fly. Got the Mighty May fly. Fantastic fly. Okay, Mighty May. Then we've got Shagunkle's Radiation Baetis, which is one of my favorites. It's got the orange thread body, the orange trigger thread in the thorax, darker brown body. Then we've got our blue-winged olive emergers, and these are going to be key for you. This is really an important pattern in the life cycle because it can fish deep, it can fish mid-water column, you can fish it in the subsurface film behind it dry if you like. Fish eat these things like crazy during the blue-winged olive activity. Batwing emerger, fantastic. CDC loopwing emerger, one of my favorites for a little bit slider profile. Soft tackle emerger is just a breadwinner out there right now. That's the soft tackle emerger, kind of a soft tackle RS2. Okay. Then we've got, like I said, we're having some caddis activity starting, but the heavy activity for the case caddis for that Mother's Day, Tax Day caddis is going to start around April 10th. We are seeing fish keying on caddis in the afternoon, caddis pupa, your emerger, just because there are some free swimming caddis hatching throughout the day, and like I said, a few case caddis coming off already. That will be pretty small activity until about middle of the month, but definitely want to have some caddis pupa on you, and like I said, they will fish well even right now. Nitro caddis is one of our favorites. Of course, the kryptonite caddis. Juan Ramirez, this pattern is just like amazing. Just incredible pattern. Okay? And then your petrified pupa, which is one of our local favorites here. Then you've got your dry flies. Okay? And like I said, you really want to focus on the blue-winged olives right now. I like a few different patterns. I like something, number one, that you can see, like the parachute, high-vis parachute betas. Okay. I like something really small profile that I can run as a secondary fly if fish are really picky, like the low water betas. And I like traditional patterns, like parachute Adams, stuff like that, but my particular favorite is the hackle stacker. Okay. Then, like I said, time to start forecasting and having some caddis dries in your box. You need to be ready for this kind of stuff, okay? Because you could fish caddis right now if you wanted to, like I said, and that will always be building through the month of April. And the heavy caddis activity, like I said, April 15th on, tax day on. You've got your missing link caddis. It's one you've got to have in your box. Charlie Craven's new Screaming Banshee, which is a great skating pattern. Okay. And then Larry Kingery's Black Foam Caddis. Don't leave home without it. You can fish a lot of these caddis patterns as a lead fly in front of a blue-winged olive during a blue-winged olive hatch right now, and there are enough caddis out there that fish will even eat the caddis. Okay, you just never know. And then you want some egg-laying caddis, right? Clown shoe caddis is one of my favorites for that. But we've got Little Hotties and Larry's Egg Layer caddis and other patterns for that as well. One of the really great things about April and even late March, we had just a huge upturn in activity within the streamers, okay? So streamer bite really turned on in late March. That's just an upturn in water temperature and just overall activity within the trout population. So April is a great streamer month as well. We love to fish streamers in April, and the idea is that there's so many bugs that are active and so much emergence in the water column going on that fish are looking for that movement. And there's also brown trout fry in the water column. That's the key reason that we keep the river low during this time period is for that brown trout fry success. Okay, so fishing streamers can be extremely productive for you in April. Okay, this is key. So flies like the Nearnuff Sculpin, okay, flies like the Lunch Money in either this brown, North Platte brown, or like a shad color. The Clone is one of my favorites. Those are all lead flies, and we fish tandem. So we'll fish one of those flies on heavy tippet, 1X or 2X. Small sinking poly leader is kind of what you want right now. And then we'll throw a trailer underneath it about 8 to 10 inches. Again, heavy tippet. Barr's Bowface is a great trailer. Tungsten Thin Mint, another great trailer. Squirrel Leech in olive, black, or rust, another great trailer. So always go tandem with your streamers. And like I said, streamer fishing can just be fantastic in April and early May. And obviously, you know, just a lot of fun to fish that stuff. So I've covered a lot, right? If you have any questions, please feel free to call us. Toll free 888-994-6743. Email us at info@royalgorgeanglers.com. You know, Flyshop is open 7 days a week now. And so Flyshop opens at 8 a.m. And closes at 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Sunday 8 a.m. through noon. And typically, you know, we're getting trips. We're here at 7:30. So if you want to make an early day of it, there'll be somebody here to help you. And again, thanks so much for viewing. Enjoy the fantastic April fishing that we've got coming. You know, make sure to plan a day. We do have a few dates available in April for guide trips. So if you're interested in learning the river better, learning different locations, learning obviously the rigging, and you know, how to catch fish, learning how to catch fish on the Arkansas, learning to be more productive and add skills to your skill set, give us a call, toll free 888-994-6743. We'd love to hook you up with one of our fantastic guides. Thanks so much for viewing. Enjoy. Have a great April on the water, and be safe out there. Thank you.